I need to work on the iPhone feature. At least my Wi-Fi is working. I finally figured out the problem. Didn't need the guy to come out and fix it. Yeah, I just had to reset something with my Wi-Fi router, and I was like, I'm really proud of myself. I always fix all my little technology things on my own. I love that about me, that I persevere and I fix things. So when I style my hair, I kind of just wanted to talk a little bit about the cleanse I did on my channel and why I did it, and on both my channels really. I mean, I probably would do it on my other channel and talk about it, but basically what it was I don't know, I want to be friends with people, I want to get along with people, and that's the thing. I've always wanted to get along with people. I've always listened to what other people had to say, and I've never told anybody what they support or who they are. But you know what? I have an upper limit line. And if somebody tells me something that's not true, that says that you absolutely support this because you have a certain opinion, I do stand up for myself, and I'm like, you know what? You don't get to say that to me because first off, it's not true, and it's just your opinion. But I also realized too that in this particular situation, this person had zero respect for me. They never respected me as a person. They weren't really my friend at all. Like, it was just, I think all it really was we could be friends if I kind of went along with what they were saying, but I have a slightly different opinion on something, which, by the way, in most countries that have freedom of speech, that are not dictatorships, you're allowed to have your own opinion. And that doesn't mean that you support a certain side. And I know I said I was going to be less political, but I am going to address this. Somebody does not get to say something, imply something about anybody when they never said something. That's wrong, and you know what? They can do that. But I also decided at this point, I hadn't been happy for a really long time doing certain types of collaborations. They were just bringing me a lot of unhappiness because I guess I'm weird, but I just wanted more flexibility in my life, because I think in order to do a collaboration, you have to be locked into a certain kind of schedule, and I really didn't want that. And also too, just the direction and the content was going, it would just always seem like it had to be geared towards things that were applicable for them. And then there were just certain topics that in collaborations I was never really comfortable with. Like, well, here's one thing. I get tired of how I don't like it when liberals go against conservatives and say, oh, their values and opinions are all wrong. But there are some people that are more conservative minded, that they kind of like pokey at the liberals, and I don't like that either. And I think I'm tired of it. I'm actually kind of tired of politics in general, because a lot of political opinion is just not good, in my opinion. Because everybody has a different political opinion, and everybody's going up to bat against each other, taking sides. Sometimes you just don't want to take a side, and you're like, I see the evil in many different sides, and maybe I want more neutrality. Maybe I'm taking a Switzerland perspective. I know it might surprise people, but maybe you could be Switzerland on certain issues. I guess that's just not comprehensible to criticize things on different ends of the spectrum, but just all these social issues, political issues. At the moment, I am sickened by civilians being killed in Gaza. Yeah, that sickens me, but everybody's so political about it. Very, very political. Like, they say, if you're sickened by that, you support this. Or if you do this, you're pro this. And you know what? I've just decided I'm abstaining from that whole discussion, because it's kind of become nasty. There's been a lot of nasty comments. And would somebody ever apologize to me? No, they wouldn't. And that's fine. We don't have to. So I just decided, with all that dialogue, I'm just going to forget about it, and I'm moving on with my life, because I think anybody who spends that much time being engrossed, whether you're conservative or political liberal or libertarian or whatever, I just don't think it's healthy, okay? To be that invested in politics all the time. I know a lot of people want that for themselves and they want that for their life, but I really don't want to spend the next 20 years of my life debating things that are going on in the world that are really horrific. And honestly, I can't change anything. And I cannot like something and I can have an opinion about it, and I don't need someone to tell me what my opinion is or what I stand for, because to me, you just are not my friend when you say that to me. You anybody know what they think, and a lot of their opinions just were not my opinions. And I felt like for years, in order to try and be friends with people, and a lot of like starting Hub Pages days even, you're always made to feel like, oh, if you're a liberal, you're not good enough. Like, unless you're one of those strong liberals, I feel like they kind of go for people that have more of a sensitive way of thinking. Like, they make you think you're not good enough, but they never changed the way they thought. They just wanted you to change the way you think. And then I just came to the realization, I'm kind of sick of all politics, because there's always going to be an issue going on. There's always going to be something bad in the world going on. And all I feel is, I don't like war, and I don't like civilians dying, and that is being pro-peace. That's like a Switzerland stance, and anybody who tries to tell you that you have a different stance doesn't really respect the First Amendment. They don't. Because nobody gets to tell you what you think, and nobody gets to tell you what you say when you didn't say something. And this has happened right now, actually, where a congressional representative was told what she said, and she took a much stronger stance on this than me. And that's not true, because we, in America and in other countries too, we have the right to freedom of speech. And if somebody wants to be pro-Palestine, that doesn't mean that they're pro-Hamas. Actually, that's not true. They just believe in the two-state solution. And I have supported a two-state solution for years, but I also kind of came to the conclusion that's never going to happen. I hate to say it. I don't really like the infighting, but I can't change that. I was all for, I thought that there could be a peaceful way, but there is no peaceful way. I hate to say it. Everybody on all sides of the spectrum thinks they know what's best, and they know what's right, and they want it their way and no way, and everybody else is wrong. And that's not right. So I do believe in peace, and I don't think you ever have a good justification for attacking civilians. I don't like it when the U.S. does it. I don't like it when Russia does it. I don't like it when any country does it. And I know they're always going to say that the validation for doing it is, well, if somebody did something so horrific that we must do this to get the bad guy. But you're also hurting people too. You can't deny that. You're also hurting people too. So that's my take on that. And anybody who kind of bullied me or made me feel bad for my own views, I don't feel you have a right to do that. But I will leave you alone, because some people just decided they're right about everything. And I was at the point that I felt like collaborations weren't healthy for me anyway. I didn't like them. I didn't like how political they were. I guess because I feel like this was one thing with me. I think I was just too worried about being friends with many different kinds of people that they always wanted me to change my opinion or make me more amenable to what they think. But deep down, they always thought what they thought. And I kind of don't like this really feeling like everybody needs to do things a certain way. And I kind of realized, yes, even in some of the libertarian circles, there's a little bit of dictatorship of thought, because they don't truly like liberal people. They don't truly like conservative people. They like people who think like they do. And you know what? People can have their own opinions, and you don't get to tell somebody who they are or what they stand for. You don't have the right to do that. Well, not in America anyway. Maybe in a dictatorial regime, you can tell somebody that. But I just decided, you know what? No, I don't need any more of that. I will never get an apology for it, because, I will never get an apology for that, that weird kind of comment, because I don't like civilians being attacked. I don't like it when anybody does it. But my page is a pro-peace page, and like I said, I don't like it when anybody does that. That might not really satisfy enough people, Like some people want really strong opinions on everything and they want you to take a side. But what if I want to be more neutral, like Switzerland, and just promote peace? But you know, I know it's not popular like in the world right now, but I'd rather be Switzerland than be these people that are very certain and telling you what, if somebody doesn't agree with them, this is what they are. And that is gross. And that's not fair. And it's not correct. So I'm just distancing myself from that 120%. So yeah, I distance myself from it 120%. I just, in all politics really, that was another thing too, because it just has gotten in the US right now that unless, well, I think some people that are very pro in their camps feel very comfy, very super comfy on many different sides. But I think it's kind of gross when you keep telling somebody what they think and who they are. You don't have a right to do that. But I also decided too, why did I even subject myself to that? Like, there were a lot of times that I just didn't like all this political, like, conjecturing and just all these taking opinions of people. And it kind of gave me an ick feeling. And where I kind of faulted myself was a few years ago when I started feeling that way. I should have just been like other people who are like, you know what, I'm sorry, I can't do it anymore. And that's what I should have done. But I think I tried for a long time and I just was so disrespected and not treated very nicely by this person that was, you know, it was rude. It was so rude. It wasn't nice. So I distanced myself from that, and they can do whatever they want, but I don't find that to be uplifting content. Like, this is why I'm cleansing my YouTube channel of a lot of that, because I just cannot stand behind people that make certain opinions and say this is the way it is, because I don't do dictatorship of thought. And when you start saying, well, if you said this is what you mean, and you tell people who they are, I just am like, no, you can think that, but I distance myself. I cut ties with you completely. You were never on my side. You were never my friend. And yeah, that's it. So I wasn't going to talk about it, but I decided to kind of address it, I guess. Yeah, and at the end of the day, I just wanted to do more lifestyle content anyway. I didn't want to do lots of political stuff anymore for all the reasons I talked about. Because of how heated it gets and how certain everybody is about their opinion and how they like to declare so-and-so's this, so-and-so's that, but nobody gets the right to do that to you. And if they're doing that, they're trying to censor you in some way, or they're trying to shut down dialogue. And if somebody shuts down dialogue with you and they're just like, well, you should think this because so-and-so thinks that, it's wrong. It's wrong on so many levels, and they never had a deep respect for you. And I'm just at a point in my life where I want to surround myself with people that have a deep respect for me, not having to be like in a certain political camp, because I hate to say at the end of the day, all people are in a certain political camp, and I don't really want, let's do more of a Switzerland approach, like kind of not being in these political camps who make catch-all like comments about, well, so-and-so's this and so-and-so's that. I can't endorse it. But at the end of the day, I'm sickened by all civilian death. I don't like any country attacking a civilian population. And you know, there's been critiques of when the US did it with the atomic bomb on Japan. That is a big thing in history. And I think this is kind of a good talk for Veterans Day, actually, by the way. Like, I know people are like, well, we had to win World War II. We had to do that because that war would have gone on for years. But do you know how deeply criticized and the horrible legacy of that was, of all those hundreds of thousands of people who died from the atomic bomb? So, this is not the first time in history people have criticized attacking civilian populations. They did it during Vietnam. They did it during the Iraq War. They did it, like, even recently with the Ukraine. But I also got to the impression, and it goes back to that song that I like, Lost in the Lost World, and I kind of do. That's always been my thinking. Like, I was always like wanting to be pro peace, but you really can't be that way 100%. I get it. Sometimes countries have to defend themselves, but there's got to be sometimes a better way to do it. I say, but no, in this case, everybody's gonna do what they want, and I'm kind of sickened by the whole thing, and I'm not gonna pretend like anything is better, like one way is better than the other, because it really isn't. It really isn't, and that's where it got so gross. And I know there's a lot of people that want to shut down people's opinions right now, but you can be. I don't really care like what side people take. I'm just sad that this happened, and I'm abstaining from it. And all the people that want to be really strong into it, let them do it, because I kind of decided I want to be with God, and I want to be pro peace, and I want to live my life following God, not a nation state idea. And yeah, I'm American and I love being an American, don't get me wrong, but like, I can criticize when I think in the past our country did things that were wrong, and I can say maybe Israel's doing something naughty, and I think Hamas was bad too, but oh no, I can't say that because so it says if you don't say it their way, it's not correct. No, this is why we are cutting all ties with things that just weren't healthy for us, and that's where the cleanse came from, because nobody needs to feel that way. And I was at the point anyway that I just wasn't going to be doing collaborations anymore, just for other reasons, and it just wasn't jiving with me. But I think I made a mistake years ago of just not, like, when I started getting that ick feeling about it, of not just cutting ties. I should have just cut the tie, because it was always very, like, I don't know. I know a lot of people are very pro-libertarian, but there's just a lot of libertarian ideas that, looking back, I don't really like. And I don't, like, I do like people to have some independence, but I actually think the American political system is really good. There are things we could improve upon, but there's a lot of things about our country that are great, and I don't think everything we do is wrong. Like, and that was another thing too. I just was always like, why? I'll tell you what really was starting to make me feel this way was the whole book censorship thing, like where there were private individuals that wanted to go into schools and were telling people that they couldn't read certain books, and they were banning certain books, and that's where I started to really, really feel this way. Because I think anybody should have any book they want to teach or read, or I don't like that. But conservatives were trying to like justify it, but they're so pro freedom. And that's where I started to feel that way. And I just realized you can't win. When it comes to politics, it's just so dirty, because there's always going to be somebody taking another side. There's always another side. There's another battle. There's always, you're right, you're wrong, you're good, you're bad. And I just have decided, for better or worse, I'm sad about a lot of things going on in the world, but I want to abstain from like being in the depth of those things, because yeah, I just don't want to follow God and have God not political opinion. I think that God is the power, and I think when you have, and I'm not telling people what to do, and if you don't believe in God, I'm not saying you must believe in God, but I think when you believe in a higher power and you know God is there for you, then you stop like caring as much about like what humans are doing. And it makes me sick to see what humans are doing. But you're not a weak person, and you're not like an illogical person because you don't like war. No, you're not. And maybe we just are going to be more neutral. We're taking the neutral road, as opposed to the people who want to have like these really strong opinions about everything. They should just have them. So that's why I'm cleansing my channel, and that's why like I decided to let go of certain, like I kept most of my own content, but I will do some collaborations in the future. I've done a couple with Carter, and there's Shadow Ghost from Instagram, and I did one with Rita, but I'm not doing like, and those are more just like sporadic collaborations I've done on hair. And that was another thing too. I was thinking I'm more of a hair channel. I need to focus more on just being a lifestyle channel, like where we talk about uplifting comments and self-care and ways we can find happiness. So that's another thing I want to get into about the YouTube cleanse. Like, first we talk about like what is it that precipitated in the event that wanted us to let go a certain content on our channel. It could be any reason, but mostly for me it was just like, wow, it was an event that just felt kind of me. But you know, when I was shut down and told I wasn't allowed to have an opinion, or I was wrong, or exactly what I thought, I was like, I'm never gonna win here. And then I realized this is what I need to do. I need to just not, like, I think for a long time I just really was trying to always be friends with people, but when you're more of a, I guess, open or sensitive person, you should just step back. And if somebody's making too many political statements, maybe just it's better to not be involved, in my opinion. Unless you really like bickering or political debate, then be involved. But for me, it's better to not be involved. It really is. It's better to just step far away from these situations. Because like I said, it's not like I would ever get an apology from that person, because they're just so invested in their political opinion that they would never apologize, and they don't have to. I already said, you know, this is how they feel, but I also know how I feel, and I think maybe it's better that I just never hadn't shared my opinion with them on anything, or maybe we should not have even made content. Like, I just got to the realization we shouldn't have collaborated at all, because the disrespect went that deep. It just went so deep. And I don't even need them to like be like, oh, but it was always like I was supposed to like think, oh, liberal thoughts are not good. Being more like democratic minded. Like, I think that was kind of like, it was people telling me that I shouldn't be a Democrat anymore. I should rethink this, and this is thinking. It was interesting, because if I had just thought a little bit more about it, it's not like I love everything the Democratic Party does, because I really don't. I'm really kind of sick of politics, to be honest. But it was just like, why? Why do you need to change how liberals think? Why is that your life goal, or to change how conservatives think? And then it's all that infighting and bickering again. I don't think these things make life positive or good. But some people really think that these things make life positive or good. And I'm just going to try and distance myself from it the most that I can. So I have. And that's why there's been a big I mean, I don't know. Maybe some people didn't even notice. I doubt people asking me to just smell my hair. Like, I don't think they notice. I'm not gonna smell my hair. That's just silly. Why don't you smell your hair? Anyhow, I doubt that they notice. You know, they just were like, ooh, you should think this, you should think that. No. You should think whatever you think, and whatever opinion you have is your opinion. And I would never go and tell somebody, well, you're this because you think that. You said this when you never said that. No, I would never. I will never. And that, my friends, is just what I'm thinking about this. But I also think, in the scheme of things, I'm kind of tired of politics. Like, there's no political opinions right now that are floating around that are making me think like, wow, this is really good, and this unites people, and this makes people feel good about themselves. And I also feel like, yeah, I get right now we live in an era of everybody wants to have a social cause, everybody wants to be on a political bandwagon, they want to identify with this, identify with that. But how about we just talk about hair? Alright, so let's talk about hair. And that's another thing too. I just do my hair the way I like, and once again, I've noticed that on the Instagram, there's a lot of people promoting like hair cutting fetish. Not good. Very gross. Very inappropriate. The people that do that, I think they don't really respect women. Like, why? Why are you taking pictures of women or copying them? More like copying pictures of women that are getting their braids cut off. And like, if you're some woman that wants to cut your hair and you're like, oh, some guy's gonna pay me like $10,000 or I don't know, 1,000 or however much he paid you to have your hair cut in a photo shoot, and you're like, yeah, I was gonna cut my hair anyway, might as well get the money. I would say don't do that, like, because there's nothing wrong with people having like these fetish, like liking hair, but I do think that the hair cutting fetish is like a type of fetish that perpetuates violence against women, because right now there are a lot of cultures where women are forced to have their hair cut by male relatives, or they're drugged to the hair salon, or just women that have had their hair forcibly cut off. And then there's like comments on Instagram. I blocked this account where these men were saying that it's sexy that women had their hair forcibly cut, and I'm like, you have no respect for women. And I just like having long hair and talking about the beauty and power of long hair, and how long hair is neat and cool. And I'm not into people that want to post pictures of hair with scissors. In fact, I think when you start doing that, like, I'm going to highly suggest maybe you seek out therapy if you're running an Instagram or a YouTube account where you're posting pictures of people with their hair and scissors. And maybe you need to talk to a therapist and ask them like why you think it's okay to post this content, because basically who you're attracting into your audience are people who are into forced haircuts. And this is a form of violence against women. And I am going to speak out about that. It's violence against women because these men are posting, like, these might be hair play photos, video stuff, but it's still violence against women because there's a lot of women that are having their hair still forcibly cut. And it's gross, guys. Like, so I just blocked those accounts. But what do a lot of people think when they see that? Like, people that are in the long hair community, they're not going to be like, wow, you're so cool, man. Like, I'm going to want to be your friend. And like women with long hair, they never tell you guys this. They just block you guys. Like, and you guys always wonder, like, but I think at the end of the day, it's fine to like long hair. There's nothing wrong with liking long hair, but why can't you be one of these cool guys that is growing his hair long, that actually knows something about long hair? Why can't you be like that? Like, there are some really cool guys that are doing that, and I don't get it. Like, if you like long hair, grow your hair long, or just tell a woman that you think her hair is pretty. You don't need to be some. But if you like short hair, I don't know, go watch short hair YouTube. Stop, like, asking people to send you photos or soliciting people to cut their hair for you, like, to perpetuate some sort of violence against women. It's gross because that's your demographic. Your demographic is, if you're posting pictures of women with scissors and hair, you don't respect women, you see them as an object, and you are pandering to followers that think it's cool because they're on social media and they're looking for this stuff and they're typing in that word to go to your post. And I wouldn't even have known that your account existed, Mr. Duty Head, except you messaged me on Instagram saying hi. And then I looked. Usually I don't look, but I don't know. I just happened to look today and I'm like, oh, here we go again. Like, yeah, no, we're not interested in you. And you wonder why maybe women don't talk to you with long hair. Because these accounts, like this one, actually had lifted pictures of other women's hair, and I'm like, it looks all copy and pasted into his Instagram, and it looked really weird. I was like, okay, yeah, I think people posting content like that probably should talk to a therapist. Like, to post pictures of play haircuts, seek therapy if you're doing that. I really do think mental health is important, and if that's something that you're posting on the internet, you should probably talk to a therapist, and I think they would tell you that's not a good idea. But I'm not a therapist and I can't tell you what to do with your life, but I'm thinking it's one thing to like long hair, but it's a whole nother thing to post this stuff. And then another thing that just bothered me was, I know this account was copying pictures, but I sort of saw pictures of like underage women like in a library in a school that they copied and posted onto this account, and that was another reason I blocked it. I'm like, that's weird. Like, I don't know what's going on with these accounts, but I'm just like, it's kind of gross stuff, you know? It really is. I'm like, okay. But I just think if you are feeling inclined to post pictures like that, or, you know, maybe you need some mental help, because that is not good stuff, guys. It really isn't. But anyway, I digress. I guess I said everything I had to say, so those were the big things I really wanted to address. Like, I just wanted to address just thoughts about cleaning up my YouTube channel, being less political on all of my channels, being in a part of my life where I put God above politics and above political fighting, believing in God over like humans that always want to have a bickering session. I don't like it. I'm like, everybody wants to fight. I just want to talk to God, and I am like, I'm nominally Christian, but I do kind of like some Islamic thoughts on God too. I've kind of been thinking about that lately too, like things that have kind of just been drawing me in. And, you know, I'm not converting to like a specific religion. I just believe in God. But I think my opinion is on this whole thing is, find God, find spirituality. Stop relying on human bickering and infighting to be your moral compass, because God is my moral compass, not a human being. And at the end of the day, that's what drives me. God is my moral compass, not what humans think and do. And I just believe in something beyond this temporal world, okay? And I know I've never made my channel about like spirituality, but that's what I believe. And I think that's why a lot of people believe that. And that's why a lot of people are drawn to certain religions, but I think there is something more to life than this world. And I'm not satisfied with human political organization and explanations of human nature. I'm just not. I believe in something bigger and better beyond. And humans just make me sad, and I don't want to align myself with any human organization that believes in like hurting people. I want to believe in God, and I put my faith towards God. That's where I've been going the last few weeks. I believe in God. I believe God is great. I believe God cares about us. You know? Some people probably don't like me saying that, but I think when you start caring about something better, bigger, I don't know, I need to stop doing that, because a lot of people, they don't want to hear like thoughts on God. Like, that's not popular. And that's not really what I'm here to do either. But that's just how I make sense of things in the world that bother me. I think about what I believe in and my higher power, and I think you should do the same. Like, when you're seeing things in the world that just don't seem right, you should think about, like, what is it that would bring you more happiness, more tranquility? What would help you make sense of horrible events? Like, we can never really make sense of them. Not at all. But finding that you want to live in peace with your fellow man, and you don't want to be part of any side or any bickering. I don't know. That's what's driving me lately. Less politics and more peace. And this might be a solitary thing because I think in the world right now, like I said, a lot of people really want to be defined by a certain political group or a certain nation state thought or whatever. I just don't want to be defined by that. I want to like find happiness, serenity, love, and kindness towards other people. World Kindness Day is on Monday, and I know some people are like, oh, that's like, no, we need it more than ever right now, okay? We need it more than ever right now. I'm sorry, but we do. We need that. And if you don't want to do that, then don't. Don't believe in kindness. Just don't believe in it. I do. And I'm going back to how I used to think, why did I always censor myself? Like, why did I like suppress how I feel, like believing in being pro-peace and pro-kindness? Like, why did I suppress those feelings? Because other people were like, this is how it should be, or being more. But then I realized at the end of the day, it's good to distance yourself from all political thought, because there's always going to be a political bickering going on. There's always going to be people that are like, I'm right, you're wrong, he's bad, she's bad. No, we're human beings and we should build each other up. And there's something really wrong when people are choosing to like cause friction over political opinion. That's just not right. But, you know, everybody is so certain in how they feel that I'm just going to give them that. And I just really don't want to be a part of it. That's why, even though I was kind of inclined, like, I kind of almost wanted to post some things that at the moment, I kind of was feeling like, I kind of feel sympathy. I don't really want to go there because I don't want to be into any political camp, and it's just not where I want my life to go, really, you know? I just want more for my life than that. I don't set up meetups, dear. I just brush my hair and I talk about life and I do hairstyle videos. I don't do meetups. That's why I didn't answer, because I want people that really are into what I'm talking about, not like being like, oh, let's meet up. No. Safety first. Safety first. No woman wants to meet somebody off the internet. We just don't, okay? You just don't, okay? That feels very scary. No, I don't. I don't want to meet somebody that I don't know. Everything's organic. Everybody you meet, this is my opinion on people you meet. They're people you know in your daily interactions. It's not like, oh my gosh, I saw somebody, I want to meet them. No, it doesn't work that way, right? You know? That's just how I think, you know, like if you want to meet somebody, it will be somebody that you know in your daily life. That's how you meet somebody. My little opinion anyhow, but you know, everybody can have their own little opinion on these things. I'm not going to keep them from you. I haven't brushed my hair in a couple days, and I left it in the braids for like 2 whole days, which was good because I feel like my hair kind of needed some time to rest after being in braid for 2 days. I really do feel like it needed some time to rest, for surely. I did need a little bit of time to rest, and guess what? Okay, now that I've kind of got this all out of my system, because I had been wanting to have like a deeper talk about it, and I had been putting it off for a while. Now that I got this out of my system, like I want to talk about some upcoming things that I have going on for my channel soon. This is something that I have coming up. I decided to buy the viral TikTok brush. You know that brush? Well, if you're into hair, you probably know. Does anybody know the viral TikTok brush? If you're into hair, I'm sure you've seen this brush on the TikToks and everybody's been talking about it. Like, if you're truly a hair aficionado, you know what brush I'm talking about. Does anybody know in the comments? And it's not about being scared. It's about a boundary line. The boundary is I don't meet people off the internet. Why did you make an assumption that I wanted to meet somebody off the internet? Why? Maybe you shouldn't assume. I never said on my channel I'm here to meet people off the internet. There's dating sites for you if that's what you're looking for. Like, you can go on the Bumble and all sorts of sites, like, for people that want to meet people on the internet. There's like Hinge and Bumble. There's all kinds of, I think, Coffee Meets Bagel. Like, there's a lot of people that want to meet people. Just don't. It has nothing to do about being scared. It has to do about being smart, prudent, and letting life play its course. Because I let life play out. I don't seek that stuff out, in my opinion. I just look for what happens, like organic, natural, beautiful interaction. And if you don't get that, then you wouldn't want to meet me anyway, because we would have nothing in common. See? I answered your question right off the bat. Anyhow. Yeah, I just want organic experiences. I want to see, like, look, I got derailed. I was talking about the brush. Can anybody guess what the viral TikTok brush is? Like, because if you really like hair, you should know what this brush is. Yeah, well, I mean, it's just not wonderful hair. I mean, maybe you and I would meet someday because we're friends. We're actually friends and we've talked for a couple of years, but that's different. I've talked to him. Like, that's different. But other people, no. Like, I've known him for a couple of years that I've talked to him, and I know what kind of person he is, but other people I'm like, probably not. But also, too, I just want to meet him as a friend. So, anyhow. Yeah, it's the Unbrush. The Unbrush. So I'm going to be reviewing that soon. That's coming up not too long from now. It's one of my plans. Your hairbrush as you go. Never let your hairbrush build up, by the way. That's one of the tricks that I have to keeping my hairbrushes clean. Like, it's just like you do it as you go, and then your hairbrush never gets dry. Well, I think what happened was, like, in the case of the wonderful hair, we just started talking. I think it was maybe during the pandemic or something. I remember that you had liked some of my posts or something, and I think that's how we started talking. And you always kind of were nice to me. Like, I know we had our differences, but in general, I realized that you're a good person, and like you're an actually kind person. Like, you're somebody that would go up to bat for somebody every day all the way. And like I said, I like to surround myself with people like that. So yeah, those are the kind of people that I will seek out in life. But otherwise, like, I'm going to be cordial to people. I just don't seek a lot of, like, needing to meet people I don't know. Like, if I haven't had some sort of organic interaction with them that feels comfortable and normal. Plus, we just want to be friends. Like, I like you as a person, as a friend. Other people, it's kind of strange. Like, and then if somebody were to be like, "Oh, you're scared," no, that's you don't respect somebody's boundary line. Once again, I don't know. It's fine, but like that's not something people would say in a discussion online to somebody that they don't know. Yeah. Why would somebody say, "Oh yeah, I'm just gonna meet you. I'm gonna meet you," and why would you be scared? Because normal women don't want to meet people that they don't know off the internet. That's just pretty common sense. And like anybody would be like, "Oh, you're scared." No, I have common sense. And where's your boundary line? You know. Hi. But notice like they stopped commenting like the minute I pointed that out. Nobody's scared. We're just smart. Anybody that's kind of like something somebody would say to you if you were like 15 and like you're like, "I don't want to ride a motorbike," and they're like, "But are you scared?" No, because I'm concerned about my safety. Maybe I don't want to ride a motorbike, which is risky, by the way. It's a little risky to ride a motorbike. If you want to do that, more power to you, but you do take a risk, you know. Or I don't want to like do a backflip off like a cliff into water. Yeah, it's kind of the same thing, really. Anyway, so I am moving forward, and those are the fun things I've had going on with my content. In the essence of moving forward, why? I mean, I just don't think many people notice. Maybe nobody noticed that my content had kind of like that. I had deleted some old content off my channel. They probably didn't notice. I don't know. Maybe a few people did, but if you did notice, it's just because I was deciding that I wanted to focus more on things that are just aligned with me, that are about me, not about what other people think. Like, everybody can have their own opinion, but they can do it in their own space, and that's just how I've been feeling these days. So anyway, those are my thoughts. I'll probably keep brushing out my hair, but I don't know how much longer I'm going to keep on here. Actually, my hair is pretty easy to brush when it has been braided for several days. That's the cool part. It brushes out very easily. I kind of like this. It does brush out really, really easily. That's pretty lovely. How easily it brushes out. Wow, I love it. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and have a good day.